It's just so intuitive, and it's fun. So many different amps in here.
Especially when you see the picture, man. That's great.
Now we can slide that microphones.
Whoa!
Yeah. Hey, I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater, and my partner in crime today is Don Carr. Great to see you, Don.
Man, good to be here.
You got my guitar, man.
I do, man. Your guitar is great. There's no way we were getting out of the office without this thing.
No, got to plug that thing in because we are checking out the Helix Stadium XL, and this is sort of our first look at it, right?
This is it, man.
And I spent some time watching Eric Klein from Line 6 make a preset with Dweezil Zappa.
Oh,
and of course, Dweezil has unusual requests and things that he wants to have in there, but we've had a chance now to sit down just for a brief amount of time and sort of take a look at this thing. And let's be perfectly honest, we don't have a manual.
Right.
We don't have the software.
Right.
We're just sitting down and figuring this thing out.
Right. It's like we're just opening the box and going, what do we got here?
Yeah. And we're getting around.
Man,
we're
making
sure
it
happen.
And it sounds fantastic.
It really does. And we keep discovering more and more power that's embedded within this thing. The amount of stuff you can do with it is just incredible. Now, what we're looking at is an early version of the firmware. There will be more releases coming, especially early next year. We'll be seeing things like the song playback and showcase and proxy. The amp capture will be coming later next year and so on. But what we have here in Helix Stadium XL right now is really pretty phenomenal.
It is, man. Gosh, man, these Agoura amp models sound fantastic.
They sound really good, and they feel great.
Mm-hmm. They sure do.
It has the touch, and when you turn the volume knob down, it does what it's supposed to do, and they're very, very authentic. But just to give you a really quick tour here, we've got tons of ins and outs here. We've got 2 guitar inputs. We've got connections for up to 4 expression pedals, external expression pedals. We've got 4 loops for external effects if you want to bring those in. We've got 3 sets of outputs, XLR, 1/4 inch, and headphones. And as we'll see, there's actually a separate mixer for each of those, so you can combine your signals and route them in different ways and hear different things out of those different sets of outputs, which is really cool.
Yeah, it really is, man. It makes it like way more of an all-in-one.
Absolutely.
Really
we also have things like a very intuitive view where you can look at what's happening. We'll be digging a little deeper into that a little bit later. All those new models. Compared to the Helix, I mean, you're a Helix user. I'm an HX Stomp user.
Yeah.
It feels very familiar to me.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, especially as soon as you see that, you're like, oh, well, there we are.
Yeah, I know where I'm at,
yeah,
right? I know
we're in Helix land right now. But having the pictures, oh my gosh.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it really is cool. And just even the touchscreen at all, just golly, makes everything so much more intuitive. You know?
Right.
If you're wondering which version of the Helix Stadium is right for you, here's a quick comparison of the XL and Floor. Let's start with the similarities because that's easy. It's basically everything. The Floor has very much the same functionality as the XL, with a few specifics I'll point out here. The differences are mostly physical. The XL adds most noticeably the built-in expression pedal, and there's also expanded connectivity. The XL has 2 instrument inputs, the Floor has 1. The XL has 4 effect loops compared to 2 on the Floor, and the XL has 2 TRS control jacks for external foot switches and pedals. The Floor has 1. The other difference is that the XL has 12 OLED scribble strip foot switch labels. Alternatively, the Floor offers Play View, which is a graphic display of the controls and foot switch assignments. Just press the home button to access it. The size difference between the XL and Floor is noteworthy. The XL is roughly a 1/2 inch taller, a 1/2 inch deeper, and 3.5 inches wider, also 4 pounds heavier than the Floor. Not a huge difference, but if you're considering how you plan to use it or how it would fit into your existing rig, every detail matters.
Now, some of the new buttons that are added on here compared to the Helix make navigating a lot faster, though.
Oh, that's cool.
So, of course, we have our home button that always takes us back to this screen.
Right.
But we have 3 buttons over here that instantly jump us to those different mixers. So we're using the XLR outs to feed our cameras here today, and we've got a whole mix here, a matrix mix, for just that set of outputs.
Nice.
So we've got the main guitar signal path here, and in fact, we can open that up and look at the different paths within that. We'll look at that a little later with some of the other presets that we're dealing with.
Right, yeah, some of those more complex presets.
Yeah,
right.
you can do some of the mixing here, which is very intuitive. But when Showcase is active, you'll be able to mix that in here. You can mix the metronome. There's a count in. You can even change the voice on the count in. And of course, there's USB input. There's also Bluetooth input as well, and an aux input. So tons of signals that can flow through this. It can really serve as a hub. But these mixers let you set that up. So, for example, we could just be sending the guitar to front of house with these XLRs.
Yeah.
The 1/4 inch could be sending backing tracks someplace else if we wanted, or we could have them mixed into a set of monitors on stage along with the guitar. Headphones could have a click and not in any of the others, and so on. So that's super versatile.
Yeah, it really is, man. The fact that it's right there, and then you've got your buttons, and of course, that's your XLR, that's your headphones, and that's 1/4 inch.
Instant, and your volume knob right there.
Right, and the volume knob right there. Perfect. And then the touch screen, too, where you can just kind of slide things around.
Just grab it and move things around.
Yeah.
But you can always jump back to home here. And one thing I really like is whatever blocks you have selected here, this button instantly takes you to the amplifier.
Oh,
so that's pretty cool. And even if you have 2 amplifiers, like this preset has actually a couple of amplifiers in it, it'll step through them for you, so you can instantly jump between, because that's the thing you're going to access probably the most, right? You're going to get your amp dialed in.
Yeah.
The center button here is also useful because it takes you right away to your preset lists and your banks too, so you can save right from there, which is very cool. Yeah. But we can instantly jump back. Once Showcase is active, you'll be able to use this button. It's telling us right now we don't have that.
Right there, but
all good. Jump back here, and of course you move through your pages using this button. We adjust different parameters, different settings and things using that knob there in the center.
Yep, just like we're used to.
Just like we're used to with the Helix, yep. But down here, we've got some things going on as well. Now, we have 12 buttons here. One of those is dedicated to tap or press and hold. You've got the tuner. Exit back out.
Perfect.
But this one up here switches you among different modes for the screen and for the switches. So right now, we're looking at preset mode. So we're seeing the banks of 4 presets right here. We can bank up, we can bank down, select what we want, and so on, as you'd expect. But if we press and hold this, we're given a number of other options. First is we can jump to the snapshots for a particular preset. So that's pretty handy, right? Because we've got 8 snapshots here. You can also open those up on the screen by touching here and selecting among them. And you have another option. If we press and hold, we can also do a combo view where 4 presets here and then 4 snapshots from those presets on the bottom.
Wow.
That's pretty cool, right?
Let's think about that. That's like 16 sounds
readily
available.
Right at your foot tips. Yeah. Not your fingertips like we're doing it right now. So yeah, you just jump to the next preset, and then you've got 4 snapshots for that. This preset, 4 snapshots. And the cool thing with snapshots is that if you've got delays ringing, if you've got reverbs ringing, that all continues. That doesn't cut off when you move among the different snapshots. Now we can also choose to hit this button again, and it takes us to stomp mode, where basically this becomes a pedal board. So we can turn our drive pedal on and off. Poly sustainer, which we were playing with, and that's super cool, right? Dual delay, you turn things on and off. So you can just use it basically as a pedal board in that way. And in fact, there's 2 banks of switches here. So let's go to a more complex preset. We were looking at one here. This one's got quite a bit of stuff going on. We'll come back to it a little bit later. But you can see we've got things arrayed across all 10 of these foot switches. If we push and hold here, we can go to a second set of 10 foot switches and assign those to effects or to other functions.
Okay,
To do that, it's very simple. You just basically go to the command center and you have Stomp A, Stomp B, assign what you want from the bottom here, amps, MIDI, presets, so on. Hotkeys, you can control the looper from here. So it's super easy to do, right? You just touch which one you want and assign a command to it, and you're good to go.
Exactly. Like if you're really using the looper, you could set your Stomp Bs to be the looper.
You could. You could.
Wow.
Or you could do a Stomp A and a Stomp B where you have some of your effects on the bottom and your looper controls on top, and switch between Stomp A and Stomp B and access different things.
Yeah.
Pretty cool for live performance. This little menu up here on the top takes us to a lot of different things. So you've got your bypass controls there. The command center we looked at, you can do downloads from here. This does have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and Ethernet built into it. So whatever your connectivity option is, you can dial right in there and do that. Man. A nice feature is the global EQ. So this is always on. So if you need to adjust for a room, very easy to do. You just grab it and make whatever changes you need to make.
Wow.
Instantly reset. Of course, we can turn that off if we're not using it. We've also got global settings. So these are going to be things like your ins and outs, levels for those kinds of things, gain settings. We've got switch settings, displays, and so on. So all those sort of settings and preferences are what you're going to find there. Then we can jump back to home here.
Always get back to home.
Always get back to home. So these foot switches can do a lot for us. Depending on what mode that you want to work in.
Yeah.
For me, man, I think that combo mode is really slick.
I have to agree, man.
I like that one a lot.
I have to agree.
So let me finish up the tour with just a couple other things there. I already showed you that you can call up the snapshots here. This information page is very cool. You can actually put a paragraph in here all of the factory presets have one, but you can put your own in as well that describes it and also tells you the instrument it was created using. So this was created using American Ultra Tele neck pickup with palm muting and the different snapshots and what they do. And then to complement that, if you hit the paperclip, there's a little audio file that demonstrates the preset. And if you create a new preset, you can add your own information screen and you can upload your own audio file into that to demonstrate it. So you know exactly what it sounds like. Yeah. And that's really cool because you get a chance to hear what the person who designed the preset was thinking. You know, what was this really intended to do in their mind? And then you go do your own thing with it.
Right.
Something completely different.
Exactly. But but what were they going after? Like say, what was the intention? And also, man, it probably makes it, I would think it would make it a lot easier. Like when you're scrolling presets, especially for the first time and you're trying to figure out, well, what does this even sound like? Man, it's just a lot quicker. Just hit that, you know.
Sure is.
Hit the paperclip and there you go, man.
Well, how about if we just, let's just play through a few presets here. We'll go back to preset mode. Let's go back to bank one, back to home.
Yeah, here we go.
This looks like a pretty straight ahead. Yeah. What do we have here? We've got a Soldano, it looks like.
Ah, okay.
Nice, nice. But now check this out. So if we go back to that graphic view that shows our amplifier, you can see we've got kind of 5 hotspots here on the screen that are labeled. And actually, as you drag this, watch what happens with the parameters on the bottom. You're changing multiple parameters simultaneously. So within this, you have sort of these preset kind of things that you can move among. So you were playing it right there.
You're right in the center. Yeah, okay.
Let's go over here to lead. Or mule, which we'll assume is Warren Haynes, right? Totally different sound, right? And then down here, look at all our parameters changing.
Whoa! Yeah.
That's so cool.
That is cool.
So cool. Move it back over here.
To type. Yeah.
And that same thing is, let's go back to home here. We can choose our speaker cabinet. And when we do that graphic view, now we see our microphone. Now we can slide that microphone. So go ahead and play. Pretty slick, right?
That is super slick, man. And the 45 degree, that's very nice.
And the same thing is happening there. If you watch the parameters on the bottom, the distance, all of that is changing. The X, Y position. If we flip the angle, you see it changes there. And so this is just such an intuitive way to do it with that beautiful touch screen. And the same thing is true with our pedals, processors, reverbs, delays, and so on.
No kidding.
So let's, is this on? Let's turn this on. All right, and then let's... Totally different.
Yeah.
Very tight.
Wow.
And of course we have tap tempo. It's just so intuitive. And it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. Especially when you see the picture, man. That's great. Sorry, it's the kid in me, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
I can see it.
This is supposed to be fun.
Nah,
We're playing guitar here.
Yeah,
right?
man.
Well, let's check on down the preset here. So this one has 2 amps. And let's look at that. We've got, looks like 2 twins.
Okay.
That we have there. And this is pretty cool. This merge block here allows you to combine those multiples. So we've got a split block here. That split us to A and B, a Y basically, and then a merge to bring it back together. And you can see we have level and pan for both sides of that return, and you can flip one side or the other out of phase if you need to, out of polarity, and set the overall level. So you have a lot of control over blending those 2 amps together.
Because then it really is like a stereo.
Yeah, and again you can hit the amp and you jump right there, or jump to the other amp, right back. So cool. That's a couple of cranked up twins right there.
Kidding, man.
Let's do this. Let's go to snapshot mode. So now we have the 8 snapshots that are associated with this preset. What you store in a snapshot is both the on-off state of the different blocks, but also the settings, the parameters. So we can go from a overdriven amp to a clean amp and so on. So watch what happens here when I go to clean. You can see that turned off, that turned on. We've probably got different settings. Our volume pedal is now active.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah. So volume pedal there.
Yeah.
And it's super easy to, for example, let's add in a let's add in a wah pedal. What do you say?
Let's do.
We'll just put in a basic wah there. We'll make it mono. Turn it on. Go back to home. So now that's there. And now you see that's purple. Our blue light is on here. If we click this, hit this. You're off, and now we're using the volume pedal.
Oh, we're back to the volume pedal. That's
Yeah.
man, that's super handy.
Click back here. That's super cool.
That is cool.
That's super cool. So we were exploring some of these snapshots here. So we've got clean slap that you played, big rhythm. All right, lead. Trim clean. So you heard that kept ringing.
Yeah.
The delay tail
Right.
kept going, but now I've switched the snapshot. Totally different.
Yeah.
Another delay here. Now, of course, each of these blocks has its own set of parameters. They're down here, so this is Minotaur overdrive there. But we could jump to, let's go to this reverb. You see there's a lot of parameters there. If there's more parameters than will fit on the screen, there should be one of those here. Then we hit the page, and we can jump to the next set.
Yep.
So we can turn trails on and off in that particular case and so on. So you have easy access to everything. Just touch it, or you can simply, let's go back here. Let's go to Stomp A, just touch the capacitive, and it'll jump you to the block that you've assigned to that switch. So you can see its parameters and all that.
Nice.
And that's all, of course, very similar to the way it was in the Helix.
Right.
But it's all part of the super easy user interface.
Yeah.
That's part of this thing.
Man, that was the thing about the Helix is that you always had like so many ways to get to the same kind of spot, and whatever was intuitive for you and worked. Now you've got even more.
Yes.
With the touchscreen and the extra buttons, and wow.
Exactly right. And you can go really deep with this. Let's jump up here to preset. We could do it either with the bank switch and then select, but since we're in stomp mode here, I want to go to 10A was one I was looking at. Deluxe gig. Nope, that's not the one I was looking at. 10C was the one I was looking at.
There we go.
That's the one. So that's a very complex chain there. So the guitar comes in. It's coming to an amp. That'd be a Vox-style amp. And, of course, it's associated speaker, 2x12. We've got a separate delay here after the split.
Okay.
So this path is going through the amp, through the delay, and then it's feeding down to this next path down here. But it's also splitting and going through a delay, a plate reverb, and the volume control and going out the XLRs. And now this down here is going through a studio compressor, and then we've got a delay, we've got another split, and we've got two different kinds of reverb there. There's a room, and I think this is the particle verb.
Yeah.
We're mixing those back together. And then we've got another compressor, and then our volume pedal again. So the cool thing here is that we're actually set up with multiple outputs.
Right.
You can see that we're looking at the separate paths. So go ahead and play. Now we can mute. Now we're not going to hear that because this path is actually feeding down to this second path.
Oh, right, right.
But this is after that split. And this would be, this would be those two paths feeding that way. And you can control the relative levels of those as well, either this way or using the knobs, however you want to do it. Once you got your mix set the way you want it, you can pan those things separately, close that back down, and you're just looking at your overall main output.
Wow.
Yeah, and of course, the main output we can control here.
Right. Yeah, control there. Man, that is really cool. I mean, that's a lot of mixing. You know what I mean? To get everything exactly the way you want it, but the fact that you can do it so handily.
And you can also, from this screen, jump instantly to the global EQ, which I also really like.
Yeah.
And then back to the home screen.
Right.
But you see how complex you can get with these, because we got a lot going on there. And I thought a really cool feature, we were looking at this earlier, is that the volume pedal is actually controlling both of those. So let's make sure we've got everything on here.
Yep.
Like we want it. Yep, we do. All right, let's go back home. And now if you play, we've got our volume pedal on both those paths. So it's serving as the overall mix with whatever blend you set over here.
Right. And
super cool.
It's interesting too, because it's at the end of the chain, right?
Yeah.
So you get that dry kill effect if you want that. If you want to just like completely like, you know.
Yep. And if you need help figuring out what's going on there, hit the information button. It gives you a little rundown on it. One of the other ones we were looking at, we actually looked at it before, is I think it's 3A. Was that the one we were looking at?
Sounds right. Yep. There it is.
There it is. Yeah. So on this one, the same guitar input is feeding both these paths. So this input, it's the main guitar input, instrument 1, is feeding in here, going through this amp, which is again is a Vox and associated speaker. We got the volume pedal there and some time-based effects. But that same input, instrument 1, is also feeding up at the top here. And so it's going through this amp, but then also through this amp. So we've got basically a Princeton, we have a Super, and we've got an AC30 down here, which is super cool.
Yeah.
And we're blending those together. And notice that we have the volume pedal here that allows us to blend that Vox in and out. But those are coming in the same input and then going out of our output matrix. And again, we can mix those here.
You had 2 separate outs.
Yeah, 2 separate outs, so we can combine them that way. And again, we can blend them. So if you play this. So we're just blending that Vox in and out.
That's
and if we look at let's look at the snapshots for this, just because I'm curious.
Yeah.
What else is going on here? So we've got what you were just playing. Turned on some delay and stuff. Boost on that side, but not on this side. So we're boosting the fenders, but not the Vox.
Right, because the Vox already had a little bit of dirt on it. You're just kind of boosting up that
but we can take that Vox out. Or add it back in. Super cool. Yeah. And then you've got the distortion added in here as well as a room reverb. Isn't that cool?
That's insane.
It is insane.
It really is. That's a lot going on.
It is a lot.
One preset.
But super cool. Super cool the way that works. So one of the big features with the Helix Stadium XL is the new Agoura amplifier models.
Yeah.
That Line 6 has basically gone back to the drawing board and redone their models and made them just as absolutely accurate as they possibly can to the original amplifiers. So let's just create a new preset here, and that's as easy as tapping here. Click New Preset. We'll make it empty. Basically, we've got a blank preset, and now we can choose to put an amplifier in there. And notice we can look either at a text list of those, or we can look at icons for them.
Yeah.
Now, there's several different types here. So we've got guitar amps. We can jump down to bass amps, and there are a number of those as well. Or the legacy ones have this little building beside them, or whatever that is, right?
Monument.
So those would be the older Helix
Yeah.
type models. But if we go up here to some of the newer models, and we can choose some of those. So I know you're a Princeton guy. We can also choose to automatically add a cab along with that or not.
Oh,
so you can mix and match, or you can have it call up the one that's arguably defaulting to go with that. So we've got that selected. Go back home, and now we can, of course, see our parameters here, the next bank of them. So that's just a basic Princeton style amp with a 1x10 cab.
Yeah.
So basically like a combo.
Yeah, right.
And if you turn your volume control down and you vary it. Yeah, you got total touch control over it. Play some dynamics and some articulations there. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
really
responds like it's supposed to, right?
It really is.
It really does. And we can fine tune, of course. We can move the microphone around. It's got a condenser mic that's at a 45-degree angle, but let's just turn that straight on and bring it in closer to the center. Very cool, right?
Yeah.
So we can fine tune that the way we want it as well. Turn that off. We can jump to our amplifier. Oops. I keep doing that. Then we have our settings here, again, for this. So we're right in the middle on what they call Diana for some reason. Oh, Princess, right, Diana.
There you go.
We can go to Princess Leia. Princess Jasmine. That sounds like the princess that you have in your office.
Yeah, right. It really does, man.
Man, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Princess Peach. Princess Cruises.
Wow.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
And then building the preset from here is as simple as just tapping and then choosing the category. So we'll go this way. I really like the Minotaur, which is sort of a centaur style style drive. And if we go back here, then we can look at this.
Cool.
Oh, there it is. Clean boost.
Yeah.
Or back to the sweet spot. Now, we could say that's our entire preset. If we go to I now, we can type in our text and describe our preset just so we remember what it is.
Right.
And we can add or upload a clip to this so that it will play back and show us what we have. So all super cool and so intuitive, so easy to use.
Yeah.
And we can drop a reverb on the, where's my reverb? There it is. Let's put a spring reverb on there.
Let's do it.
See what that sounds like, and we can take a look at it. I like that one. That's pretty cool. And we can continue building from there. We've got so many options for different devices that we can put in there. You know, amps, cabinets, distortions, delays, reverbs. We've got all kinds of modulations, including trims. We've got harmonic trims, phase, vibes, phasers, flangers. The Dynamix flanger is the one that when I was watching Dweezil make his preset, that's the one he was using because his dad used the original, right?
Right.
All kinds of different choruses. Reel-to-reel tape, detuning, and so on. So, man, and you just choose it. Okay, so here's our, let's go to harmonic trim. And actually, that's a stereo version.
Okay.
So let's hear that. Sweet.
Yeah, really.
That's pretty sweet. And we can turn that off. We could assign that to a foot switch very easily. We just come over here to Command Center, and we can assign it to whatever foot switch that we want. And so simple to make that so we can turn that on and off. Or we could save this as a snapshot, put another set of effects in there, turn them on and off, change the settings, and have a different snapshot. And, man, talk about a performance, an easy performance system.
Yeah, it sure is. And again, man, back to the whole thing with the touchscreen. I mean, I know everybody's been wanting this, but golly, that makes it so much easier.
It really does. It really does. It's so easy to navigate all this stuff. Once you learn where a few of the buttons are and you kind of get your head wrapped around this mixer because there's so much you can do there.
Yeah.
But, man, it's just simple enough. Right?
Yeah.
But you can have a count in. And we were looking at it yesterday. There's a male voice, there's a female voice, there's up, down, and so on. And then the metronome, multiple sounds for the metronome, and so on. So really the centerpiece for your entire rig can be right here.
Yeah.
And, of course, it can control external gear as well. It's got MIDI in and out. It's got amplifier control, so you could change channels if you're using this with a real amp, if you will.
Right.
You know, so, man, all that stuff is here. Man, let's go back and just check out some more of these amplifiers because there's so much good stuff here. It's so much variety. So we have the amp selected. And actually, if you click on a block, this shows us here the things you can do there. You can clear the block, copy it, et cetera, et cetera. Assign it to a favorite. Here's where you assign it to a switch.
Oh, okay.
So super easy to do that. But I keep getting distracted. Let's go back to our amplifiers here. And we're on the Princess right now, the Princeton.
Yep.
And we've got the cab lock clicked. So that means that when we call up a particular amp, the matching cabinet is going to come up with that. So just out of curiosity, so give us our Princeton there. Yep, and then we have all our different ones there.
All our different princesses?
Yes, exactly. Let's go to a Tweed.
Okay.
They're just so dynamic.
Yeah, really.
That's a big sound.
Wow, yeah.
I like that.
Really nice.
We can select here. Let's go to select the Plexi and let's call it up here. Lifts it over. Clean. You can also just tap.
Oh, put you right to the spot.
Put you right to the spot. Okay, let's go to, we listened to the Vox in a couple of those presets, but that's there. So cool.
Man, that sounds really good.
We can go to the Bogner. I'm impressed is that they get the clean sound on these high gain amps right.
Yeah.
You know, it's I won't say it's easier to get those higher gain sounds, but getting a really good dynamic clean sound or a light breakup tone, to me that really shows the quality of what you're doing. And this
you can hear a lot of depth in that.
Yeah, you definitely can. EVH. Nice.
Yeah.
Got a couple channels of Revv amps here. Wow, wide range of tones there.
No kidding, man. Here's
the red channel. That's pretty sweet. Now, we also have a bunch of amps here that Line 6 has created. So these aren't necessarily based on a particular amplifier, but they're things that Line 6 has come up with. This Clarity is a great example. Nice clean amp.
Yeah.
Mid boost.
Wow. Okay.
I like that balanced clean. That's a nice sound.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a Supro.
Yeah.
Nice. Stone Age 185. That's an old Gibson amp. And here we have the Voltage Queen, the Victoria Electric Queen.
Yeah.
The GrammaticoLG. The range. There's one down here. The Super's always a good one.
Yeah.
All right, there's one down here that I like. That's a Grammatico.
Yeah.
So this has a lot of parameters. You know, they've got everything in here that you'd find on an original D-style amp. They have the Jazz Rock switch.
Right.
They have the FET boost,
right.
the preamp boost, sag, and then you can also get into bias and so on. But let's just see what they've got dialed up here. So there's some clean.
Interesting, man. Check out. It tells you exactly
so it shows you the
switch
parameters,
does.
right?
That's
So if we go to the different ones,
Yeah.
we can it tells you what each control does. Ah, that is super cool. We learned something.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, there's an orange.
Okay.
Nice. So many different amps in here. And then, of course, we're going to get down into bass amps as well. Again, there's so many of those, the legacy amps and things from the Helix. But, you know, you can also have a lot of fun. We haven't even really started digging into this. If we go back to your Princeton, which you use so much, we can separate the amp from the cab.
Okay.
And now when we go back here, we can make the cab something different. So we could put that through, say, a 2x12 matchless with G25 speakers.
Yeah.
Or look, here's a jazz chorus 2x12. Get back here. The 57 on it, of course.
There you go. Wow.
Pull it back a bit. Oops, there we go. Turn it on angle, I like that. You have so many options for shaping the tone.
Really
You know,
do, man.
starting with the amp and then the cab and the microphone.
I was going to say from the very beginning of the signal, much less all the stuff you can add on it.
Right.
You know, think about all the EQ things you can do with the global EQ and extra EQs. You can put them anywhere in the chain.
Yeah, we could insert an EQ here very easily if we wanted to. Where we got an EQ here, right there. So which one do you want? 10-band, we'll put a boogie style
There you go.
EQ in there, and then we could actually call that up here.
Man,
Totally different sound.
Right, and that's feeding the input side of the amp, right?
That's right.
So you could do one pre, we could do one post.
We could certainly do one post, so we could drop one in here as well. We could put either the same amp, or we could put a different EQ on there.
Let's do it. Okay.
And now we can...
Wow.
I just thought that looked nice.
Yeah. It's a good shape. I like that. It's a nice pattern.
Now, we could have those come on and off with different snapshots, or we could assign them to a foot switch and turn them on and off like a pedal. So, man, so much cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, man, Don, this is just so fun. We could sit here for hours.
I know.
We probably will.
I think we have already.
Because there's just so many options here, and we're just scratching the surface. And there is so much you can do with Helix Stadium XL. There's, of course, more to come next year with new releases, but as it stands, I think it's fantastic.
Man, it really, really is.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing some noodling. That's a really nice guitar.
Yeah, it is. Man, I wonder who has this.
I wouldn't. Lucky person is all I'm saying.
Lucky owner.
Thanks for checking out the Helix Stadium XL with us. This has been a lot of fun. If you want to learn more about it, head over to Sweetwater.com, contact your Sweetwater sales engineer because they got all the answers. And we're going to be coming at you with a lot of content about this as well, so stay tuned to our channel. Don, thanks so much.
Thank you, Mitch.
Always a pleasure.
All right.
And thank you for joining us.